Hey, I'm Brian Elliott. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Brand. Today I'm here with Mental Militia founder, X Games champion, Brian Deegan.
Behind the Brand features the people who are making things happen. Get the insight to grow your biz from experts who've done it. Get behind the brand.
Brian, welcome to the show. Great to have you out here, man.
Thanks for having me.
So I usually ask my guests, how'd you get this job?
Geez, long story short, this job as an action sport athlete came from when I was 8 years old and grew up in Nebraska, and I always was into riding dirt bikes. That was my thing. I got into racing, motocross, and just followed that dream.
Was your family into it, or you just picked it up naturally?
It was something that I had to talk my parents into. You know, my parents weren't into it. You know, They were more, my dad was superintendent of the school system, you know, mom a teacher, and it just wasn't like, dirt bikes didn't exist in our family.
So you started riding early. Where did it take you?
Started riding dirt bikes at an early age, but it really made me focus on being an athlete. Like, you know, starting to train hard, you know, be focused, committed.
Took it seriously.
Took it seriously, and I feel like that's what started forming me at a young age, and, you know, was able to travel the country to go to amateur nationals. You know, my dad and I would drive hours and hours to find the competition, and it took me all over the country, and it got me into a world that as totally was unknown to me.
So what did it do for your life? When did you turn pro?
I turned pro when I graduated high school, and that was in Nebraska. You know, I turned 17, graduated high school, and my dad wanted me to go to college, and I said, give me 1 year. I'll go to California. If I can get on a pro team and make it, then that's what I'm gonna do. And I went to California in an old pickup truck. I had a couple dirt bikes and a credit card, and that was it.
And your winner with more gold than General Brian Deegan.
How'd you come up with Mental Militia? Tell us about how that all got started, and you know, kind of maybe where it was and where it is now.
The Mental Militia, I'd say, didn't really exist when I was racing. It was something toward the end of my road with racing. We were doing tricks on dirt bikes when we were practicing, and that's how freestyle started forming. And the videos started coming out like Krusty Demons of Dirt, Moto Triple X, like these action sport videos showing our characters. And I feel like, you know, at that point, that's when we started separating from motocross into freestyle, and we thought, all right, we had a group of guys, a few of them, and we're like, what's our name? You know, like militia, that sounds cool. So it was like Metal Militia, and that's kind of how it started. And we thought it was kind of funny, whatever. At first, we wrote it on our bikes, magic marker, and that's kind of how it got rolling. You know, I feel like no matter what, we'll always have the heritage and roots of what we did and the way we started it. We started a movement. We didn't just start a sport. It was a whole movement. It was a look. It was a feel, a way people dressed, and you know, it's that whole kind of 909 like thing we kicked off. Like it or not, it was a movement we started. You know. Yeah.
Talk about some tips, you know, from starting a brand from scratch. Some of the things maybe you did right, maybe some of the things you did wrong.
Yeah, I would say. Starting a brand for me was something totally new. I had no idea. I didn't even know how to like start an LLC. I didn't know any of that. So I kind of looked to the right people, and we started the corporation, and it was just filed the corporation, and we started making product, and just basically my whole goal it wasn't about sales or everyone's got to buy this or that. It was about, I get all this camera time. There's all these cameras and TV around for action sports, for the big stunts we do. It's about using that media to build the value, the credibility of our brand. And I feel like that's more important than hey, we got to build this infrastructure of a company and this, that. To me, it's about building a name, about building a brand that people want, and then the sales will come.
So how important, you know, social media is a hot topic. Everyone talks about Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and all the other, you know, flavors of the month. How important is that to your brand? How important is that to your business? How has it affected? You know, let's talk about YouTube, for example.
Yeah. I would say when I first started Militia, it was late 90s, and back then it was all about really magazines and about getting an ad in a magazine or getting your picture in the mag, or a cover would be the best, you know, and then stuff started kicking off. Like, let's just say like MySpace, like that was kind of when it kicked off. And we're like, whoa, this thing's giving us a lot of power to talk to the fans, you know, and then Facebook, and then, you know, everything on the internet just started escalating. In YouTube, I mean, I'm thinking YouTube, all of a sudden we had so much footage, so much that we never had access to put it up. And YouTube was like, perfect. We're gonna put this up, now everyone's gonna see it. People laugh, people like it, we're getting followers, you know, we have momentum, all of a sudden power, and it's like, well, we're in control of our own marketing now. And that's what it's done for me.
Yeah, it's definitely leveled the playing field, hasn't it?
For sure.
Yeah, and so, I mean, that's a big thing. You've got all this content, now you've got a place to put it. So how do you engage with your fans? Talk about, you know, what are some of your favorite social platforms? Like,
favorite social platforms, I think Facebook for me is good.
Yeah.
That's one that's been powerful. Twitter, you know, my Twitter's growing fast, and you know, it's at MMGeneral, and that's one thing that I've started putting in my media marketing on my trucks, or you know, I want people to see that, know where to go, to hear what I'm doing daily. It's pretty cool, right? Like you can kind of like hang out with me through that. That's kind of a cool avenue, and Instagram's kind of one of the new ones. But it's like, what's next? You know, there's so many, and how many can you post to, and it's kind of gets out of control, you know?
talk to us about like what your fans are asking for, what your fans are talking about.
I think on Facebook, you know, we do live chats. Usually the first Tuesday of every month, I do a live chat at around 6, 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's cool.
And I feel like that's what they want. They want access to you, right? That's what the fans want. No matter what, where, how, that's what these networks are doing. They're bringing access to you, to the people they want to know about.
So you make time every week?
Yeah, I try to make time every day to post stuff, to keep updated. And I feel like if it's a day or two late, don't post it, right? Because it's old. It's crazy how things are now.
So you feel like it's important to keep it fresh. Like if it's even a week old, it's too old?
I think unless it better be really good.
Okay.
I feel like it's got to be something really funny or really good that you did if it's going to be old. You know, I feel like it's got to be updated daily, if not like hourly. That's like where it's getting to.
That's super smart. I think it's subtle, and for people who didn't just catch that, I think it's a really important lesson. I mean, with all the noise out there and all that everyone's doing, you've got to stay on the pulse.
Yeah.
Right? You got to stay relevant. And what you're talking about is you know, the cross section or the intersection of content and context. You know, you got to stay relevant.
Yeah.
Super smart.
For sure.
Twitter. How do you use Twitter?
Twitter for me is, to be honest, I probably should be posting back and forth. And
no, don't worry about sugarcoating. Just tell me if you
let's just say,
if you
like,
hate Twitter, it's okay.
I know how it works, and my buddies will act so and so, go back and forth all day. I just don't have time to do that. So mainly the way I use Twitter is I use it as a form to let people see what I'm doing hourly of pictures, posts, you know, and just get it out there and let them see it.
Well, it's different. I mean, Facebook is nice. You can post something and it'll float down the stream slowly and people can share it. But Twitter is a little bit different because it's the now web. It's like what's happening right now. Oh, right now. Oh, right now. And it, you know, if it goes down, you miss it, you know. But it's smart that you've sort of found a way to be efficient. I mean, you got to spend your time out there on the track doing stuff, not pushing buttons.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like that's stuff I didn't have to do 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was constantly just cruising. I'm like, how did I have it 10 years ago so easy, you know? It's because there was just only a few things I had to do during the day. And now, just the social networking can take up your whole day.
Yeah.
It can.
If you let it, right?
If you let it. And then I feel like, you know, I try to do what I need to do to let the fans see what I'm doing, and that's good. I don't need to engage into full conversations all day, because then I'm not going to be good at what I'm doing, and they're not going to want to follow me anymore because I ain't winning, I ain't cool, I ain't doing this or that, I ain't credible anymore. So I need to go do what I need to do, you know?
That's awesome. All right, we've been spending a little time with Metal Militia founder and X Games champion Brian Deegan. Brian, thanks so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.